Hello everyone, thanks for joining me on StubbleMeetsSteel. So I thought I'd get back into some of these awesome razors that my buddy Lee Nunez sent me. And one of those, as you may know, is the Yates 921. And this is the more mild M plate. And I thought a good comparison, and so did Lee, would be the Alpha EVO Evolution Outlaw that they came out with. And this is similar blade gaps on both of them, so that's kind of why we both felt using them. And blade gap number wise, the Yates 921 converts to like a 0.63 gap with a neutral blade exposure, and the Alpha is a 0.70, and he says that it's a neutral blade gap depending on what blade you use, because obviously some blades have a little bit different measurements, so it can be slightly positive. So I thought that this would be a great comparison, and so did Lee, so let's get into it. So for blades today, I've got the Bic Aster blades loaded up, and something I don't do, but I've been dying to try out this soap, and I love the smell of it. I just got this. This is the Macduffs. This is basically Dr. Duff, and you know, it's almost like a dupe of like Dr. Pepper, or really more of a cherry cola to me, and that's the main scent notes. So I've got it bowl lathered up here with my PA Atomic Rocket brush. Let's get into it here. I don't normally use soaps that I've never tried before because I'm kind of susceptible to fragrance burn on my lower part of my neck. So we'll see what happens. But I've been dying to try this one, so I thought I'd check it out. Definitely a cherry forward soap scent for sure. All right. Start off with the Alpha on the right side of my face. Both of these razors that I have today are both the stainless steel offerings. You can get both of these razors in titanium and some other options. I find with these Bic Aster blades and the a slick good cushion soap that the Alpha is really nice. First pass, those first couple of strokes, I can already definitely say that the Yates feels like there's more blade feel to me. Also feels like it has more drag on the skin. The Yates is more of a kind of a, I don't know which finish this is because this is not my razor. Like I said, this was loaned to me. This looks like either the bead blasted, if I had to guess. It's definitely not the as machined. And it doesn't look stone washed to me, so I would have to say that it would be the bead blasted. But in comparison, the Alpha is a polished finish. So that could be some of the reason. That there's a little bit of that drag sensation dealing with more of a matte finish versus a polished finish. Obviously the polished finish is going to slide and glide a lot better on the face. Not sure why I lathered that high up on my face, but it's been a long day, so maybe that's why. Soap has a nice smell to it for sure, definitely cherry forward. Kind of get like some vanilla back notes there. I'll put the scent notes up for everybody because this is a newer scent by them. Against the grain of my neck. Let's do the Yates first. You can smooth out some of that blade feel and some of that drag by riding the top cap a little bit more, going more up like this versus parallel to the face. All right, let's do the Alpha side here. Oh yeah, the Alpha is definitely less blade feel and smoother. Just a couple of strokes there. So far the Alpha is definitely feeling a little bit smoother and nicer to use for my personal preferences. I like a little bit lower blade feel. And the Alpha is kind of filling that niche for me more so than the Yates, even than the lower M plate that they offer for this razor, which is what I'm using. This is the closed comb as well on the Yates. They offer it in, I think, a hybrid comb, a open comb. This is just the regular closed comb. Solid bar, it's not the scalloped bar is what I was gonna say. Nick myself somewhere, there's a little bit of blood there when I rinsed. I would consider both of these razors on the lower end of medium aggressive, bordering into mild, especially the Alpha. Again, I'd have to give that pass to the Alpha. Definitely smoother, less blade feel. Seems like it just glides over the face a lot more effortlessly. Against the grain here on the neck and face. Against the grain with the Yates was manageable, but didn't love it on my under the nose mustache pass there. Alpha was starting to get a little blade feely under the nose there, but better than the Yates. Hold on 1 minute, please. Gonna clean up under my nose. All right, let me spray down with some water. We'll see how things compare. No, that's where I nicked myself there. That's on the Yates side. Pretty much identical. There's just a tiny bit of cleanup on both sides right there. All right, let me get rinsed up and I'll go over these two razors. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna put on some witch hazel while we're talking. Looks like I got lucky on the soap. Doesn't look like it caused me any fragrance burn. My neck gets all red and blotchy real bad down there if that's the case. All right, so comparing these two razors. Well, I should mention price point. One of the reasons that I wanted to compare them was they're very comparable. Depending on which options you get on the Yates, it's about 155 if I'm not mistaken, whereas on the Alpha it's like 130 to 150 depending on which handle you get. This is a little bit shorter one. If I want to say, if memory serves me right, this is the Braveheart handle. I didn't like the 95 millimeter length that he offers on the other one, so I chose this one. I thought that it'd be the easiest to clean and just best overall length. The Yates handle is a little bit shorter. Some guys complain that on the 921 all they offer is that one particular handle. I'm kind of neutral about it. I don't love the Yates handle on the 921. I don't find it super slippery. You know, there's these ridges here that are kind of easy to grab onto, but I don't love them. Grip-wise, the Alpha's king for sure, no question about that in that regard. Head geometry-wise, the Alpha on my right here in the polished is more of like a DE89, just at a glance anyways, as far as the overall head shape. But you know, the profile on the Yates is a little bit smaller. You know, I personally like the Alpha overall as far as shave, blade feel, and everything else. They both say that they're pretty neutral bladed exposure-wise, but for me, the Alpha was definitely smoother and more forgiving. I nicked myself there on my chin, which I don't really do all that you know, often. I definitely felt that there was definitely more blade feel, which I felt, you know, was somewhat interesting because kind of proves the point that it's got to be more the geometry, because they're both saying that they're both neutral blade gap, and the Yates is like a 0.63 millimeter versus 0.70. So if anything, the Alpha should technically be a little bit more aggressive. But as I always try to tell everybody, it has to do with the shape of the head, the blade clamping, and the blade exposure, as well as the gap, all kind of come together to kind of paint that picture of how a razor feels. So it depends on what you like. You know, the advantage with the 921 is if you do want it to be more aggressive, you can get the H plate instead of the M, or you can go into the EH plate. You can also get open comb ones. Whereas with the Alpha, I know with the Shaved Dad and the new Lone Star razor that just came out, you can get open comb ones on the Shaved Dad one. I don't know if he offers open comb in the Alpha. I'd have to look, but I speculate that you can get it in the open comb variation as well. But price-wise and everything, they are pretty comparable. They also offer them both in, as I mentioned earlier, titanium metals. I know the Yates offers it in brass. I don't know if you can get brass in the Alpha. But, you know, just personal preferences, really. I know a lot of guys love the Yates and they like the more aggressive plates. As I showed in my other video comparing the 921, I find that the more aggressive plate is a little bit smoother. It just has that points where you got to be careful with it, because when it does bite, it's a little more aggressive. But overall, I feel it's actually smoother than the M plate, if that makes any sense. So for me, my personal pick out of these particular two, for smoothness and a little more forgiving, I'd give it to the Alpha. I didn't feel that there was any extra efficiency to be had with the 921. So for me, that's my personal preference. Like I said, if you like more blade feel though, you'd probably definitely like the 921. And as I mentioned, if you want to go even more wild, he's got two plates you can step into, plus an open comb to kind of step this up even more so. Feel on the face, you know, you're talking a polished razor versus a non-polished razor. I definitely felt that the Yates had more of a kind of draggy or a not as smooth sensation across the face compared to the Alpha. Definitely seemed like it glided and was much smoother over the face. So I should definitely mention that. But, you know, it's just different strokes for different folks. My personal pick would be the Alpha. I paid for the Alpha out of pocket, and this is my buddy Lee's razor that he was so gracious to send to me. So there's my take on it. I did enjoy the Dr. Duff soap. I'd say scent strength was a little weak for me. I'd give it maybe like a 6 or so. I was happy it didn't irritate my neck. To me, it was just a nice kind of a cherry scent. I was hoping for a little more effervescence and a little more pop on this one, but overall happy with it. Mostly happy it didn't irritate my face, because while I love the root beer scented one, it kind of irritates my face, I've noticed a little bit. So there you go, there's my take on it. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll have a few more reviews for everybody coming soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to everybody in the comments.